in our industry, it's pretty stressful, pretty hectic, right? And you got to have some kind of go away. For Scott, it's racing in Baja, and for me, it's being out and hunting.
So we talked about it in the very, very first 4 o'clock segment about a fantastic new sponsor. Well, relatively new. It's been a couple months now. Straight Shooter, and we have Scott and Michael. How are you guys?
Doing
Blessed.
Good. Get right up on the mic. There you go. Get right up on the mic so we can hear you. So, Straight Shooter, you guys are a fantastic sponsor. I can't wait to talk to you and hear your story. We want to hear all about you guys. We want to hear all about your business. And then, of course, we want to tell people how they can benefit from you guys. But I wanted to, before we even start, before we go to a commercial break, I just wanted to say thank you guys so much for sponsoring and supporting us. I think that's absolutely fantastic.
We are excited.
Good. How'd you guys find us, by the way?
Adam Bendez.
Yeah, from USCCA. I know that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he introduced
Saw him
you?
just this morning. Yep.
Yeah.
You saw him this morning?
I did.
What were you doing?
And now
this
I'm seeing these guys today. It's like a coming full circle.
I know. What were you doing this morning where you saw Adam?
CCW.
Oh, okay.
Class.
Yeah. Great guy. Wonderful man. Introduced us to you guys, and we're extremely thankful. So tell me. So let's talk a little bit about. So tell us about Straight Shooter. Give us a quick the elevator speech about Straight Shooter.
Man, we exist to be able to make other people comfortable. And we're passionate about that.
Keeping people alive is what you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, in other parts of the country, no joke. Texas, Arizona, that it's a life support system. Heating and air conditioning is, and in San Diego, it's keeps the complaints away and the wife happy for the most part. Allows you to sleep. Definitely raises the quality of life that you have if you're able to use that. And I got into this trade when I was 13 years old. My brother-in-law was the one that kind of got me out of having fun in the summer times and got me running ducks and doing installs in the middle of summer. And
Where were you?
I was here in San Diego.
Oh yeah, were you born and raised here?
Born and raised here.
What part?
Lakeside.
Oh wow. Oh yeah, you need air conditioning.
You need air conditioning out there. So
Yeah, it's not an option.
I grew up without it, believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah, dude. My dad was. We weren't poor, but he lived like he was poor. I mean, he was pretty darn frugal.
That's like your origin story.
Yeah.
You grew up without AC, so now your
extremely
mission
passionate.
in life.
Yeah, I'm extremely passionate about it now.
Same.
Now, where are you from? You do not have a San Diego accent, Mike.
No, I'm from Connecticut.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
how'd you get out here? How'd you get to San Diego?
Well, I never wanted to shovel snow again.
Yeah.
So after I graduated undergrad, I have a finance background actually. I made the move to Scottsdale, and I spent 4 years out there. And then the Lord opened the door for me to come to Southern California. I was like 27, no baggage. Who doesn't want to do that, right? So I made my way out to Southern California, and then that's how I got involved in the heating and air business.
Well, I got to tell you, it's when you think about air conditioning as such a basic necessity these days, but it really kind of has an amazing history. I mean, there are so many places we've now settled across this nation only because we have the ability to have air conditioning. You know what I mean? Like, would Phoenix even exist without air conditioning? Would Vegas even exist without air conditioning?
Definitely not. Definitely not.
I think, where did they invent? Didn't they? I think I was always told. I grew up in Panama City, Florida, on the Gulf Coast there, on the Panhandle, and I grew up thinking that like right down Port St. Joe is where they invented air conditioning because there was a doctor there who was trying to treat malaria. Did you guys ever hear that? No, that just came out of a memory bank from when I was a little kid. We'll have to maybe look at that up.
Can someone fact check him?
I know.
I'm on it.
Yeah, look that up during the commercial break. But that's cool. That's very, very cool. So how did you guys meet then?
Oh, I was owner at a different company before we started Straight Shooter, and Michael worked as a sales guy for a different company here in town, and we had mutual friends, and we both liked to golf, and so we ended up finding each other on the golf course, and we kept the relationship, and then a few years down the road, it worked out to where we partnered up and launched Straight Shooter.
That's a big step, man. I mean, just running a business in California is a big step, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like carrying a gun. It's a big deal.
Truly.
Yeah. be facetious a little bit, but I mean,
No, I agree.
It's stinking tough.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, people think it costs a whole lot of money, and there ain't no one getting richer than the government.
I tell you, being a business owner and being a gun owner are like the two toughest things in California.
Agreed.
I mean, they're really. I mean, you look at all these other groups. All these other political hot buttons and subcultures and groups or whatever, being a homeowner or whatever, like you name it, it's tougher being a business owner and a gun owner than anything in California. It's so difficult. I mean, it's like they want to kick you out of business, despite the fact that you guys are employing people and doing a service that's important. And anyway, okay, we're talking to Straight Shooter. We're talking to Michael and Scott from Straight Shooter. So we were talking about. You guys, you're from San Diego.
Yep.
In Lakeside.
Yep.
Scott. And then, Michael, you moved out here from Connecticut.
Yep.
And you guys met, played golf, and opened up an AC company.
It's not that simple.
It wasn't that. It sounds like a magical, story about
More miraculous, really. Scott really pursued me for a good 5 years.
Oh, here it comes.
If the truth is coming out.
Yeah.
But no, yeah.
What's the motivation? Why do you want to own a business? I mean, it's such a difficult thing to do in California. Why is it important to own your own business?
Yeah, it's like asking for your own headache or hangover, right? Well,
I mean, like, say you're talking to some kid in 8th grade, and he's like, I don't know if I want to be a business owner. I'm just gonna, like, why? Tell what what are the benefits of owning your own business?
There's a benefit.
Well, if you know how to do it, there's a lot of benefits and satisfaction that can be found. I find a lot of satisfaction in being able to provide an environment where people can have careers and provide for their families. It's very fulfilling. Obviously, there's a lot of risk, and if you're lucky enough to be able to find great clients and charge enough, you can make a little bit of profit at the end of the day, and that's the hope. And if you're really shrewd at business, it's definitely possible, even in a wonderful city that has perfect weather like San Diego. It's just tough because people don't care that we exist 8 months of the year. So you have to be shrewd and figure out how to get people to care about you and do business with you those 8 months of the year. But it's totally possible. We do it. Yeah. And that's the big thing is just being a good steward of the industry too, right? I like taking care of people's needs, serving people in their homes, building relationships. That's kind of built the foundation for Straight Shooter.
Yeah, but the more important question is, since you didn't have AC when you were a kid, do you still not have AC?
Oh, no. I put AC in my parents' home. They live in that same house that I grew up in.
And your dad now sleeps in the garage, right?
No, they still keep it 80. So I don't visit them through the summer.
So your dad must have known my dad. My dad used to take a wood screw and screw it into the thermostat so nobody could turn on either heat. Well, we never had air, but you couldn't turn the heat on.
Yeah, if you did that, you might get electrocuted now because it's all smart electric thermostats.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, you can get codes out of those things now.
Yeah.
A self-diagnosis guy just goes, okay, this is what you need.
Speaking of which.
And how much did that just cost me? $175. You went, and I need this?
We're going to be at Desi's house tomorrow.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Rick helped her install a Nest, and now it won't work. So,
oh, really?
So we're going out to Desi's house tomorrow.
A Nest?
Yeah.
Yes.
What's a Nest?
For birds?
It's a thermostat.
It's a
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Oh, he's
Not
going
our favorite,
technical
but-
on us.
Yes.
You're not letting him work
It's
on
like,
this.
no.
You're not letting him work on this.
No,
Just
no,
let
no.
him sell.
I'll take care of it.
Yeah.
Thank you,
okay.
Dave. You asked why, Mike. Look, cumulative, we have about 30 years of experience, 35 in heating and air in California. This is a cutthroat business. And
No.
we were sick of that. And we want to help people. And we want to build a team around character. And we want to shoot people straight. No bull, right? And we want to help people.
Well, I think the name, the Straight Shooter, I think that speaks to your character. And all the feedback I've gotten so far, and from talking with you guys and getting to know you guys for the last couple of months, I would say it's a perfect name. You guys are absolutely straight shooters.
Thank you.
Now, was it meant to be kind of a double meaning there? Did you know you were going to reach out to the gun community, or did it just work out that way?
No, it just worked out that way. So I came up with a name because people would ask me all the time, like, hey, when you find something wrong with the system, they say, what are we looking at, Scott? Shoot me straight. They would always say that phrase more than anything else, shoot me straight, because people just don't like BS. They don't like bull. So out of that, I was like, well, shoot me straight heating in there doesn't have the same ring. And I was thinking about it, and straight shooter came to mind, and the rest is history. I love the name, and then we launched with that.
Are you guys both gun guys? Michael, I know you are. Are you as much a gun nut as
I lost all my guns in a tragic exploding accident. So
there you go. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So sorry to hear that.
yes, it's been
God, that's-
horrible.
that's
so I don't have
tragic.
a single firearm.
Oh, that's too bad. We'll have to work on that.
Mike's got some you can have. Hey, what do you feel? I'm an old service manager, okay? So I'm big into maintenance.
Yep.
How important is the consumer when they purchase a system to get on a maintenance program for just once a year, about every 6 months, come out and just look the system over?
It's critical. I mean, just like car manufacturers say that every 3,000 to 10,000 miles, depending on the car, depending on the mileage and the oil, you're supposed to get your oil changed.
Right.
Sure, if you don't change it, you might get 50,000 miles out of that motor.
Right.
But you're going to be buying another
change
motor.
it-
If
but
you
if you
change
change
it,
it-
it'll last a long time.
And this is why I end up getting into arguments with people, believe it or not.
I believe it, Dave.
Yeah. Well, when you're an old service manager, most cars didn't run that long. And if you were a service manager for Mike in his Jeep, Jesus. buddy.
Are you kidding? I'm putting my
Dude.
mechanics' kids through college.
He's in more loaner cars than he is his Jeep. But people always say, "Oh no, they just want to rip me off."
Yeah.
I go, "No, they want to save you money, and if you can understand it, catch it before it's a real problem. Especially with that outdoor unit. Rodents and little animals love to go hide inside there, and you've got to look at all that stuff."
So I'm a huge believer in preventive maintenance. Remember
too.
I talked about those 8 months that no one gives a crap about us?
Yeah.
Well, that's what we fill our schedule with, is doing preventive maintenance. The general public is its own worst enemy, because if they don't find a company they like and can trust, and they end up going, oh man, they're going to see some company throw a cheap offer out there. And we're sort of doing it with you guys, but we're doing it only for you guys, right? We're doing the 1776
Right.
maintenance plan.
Which it took me 4 commercials to realize what that 76 was about.
And the only reason we did that is because, truthfully, I don't care about the initial investment.
Right.
My hope is that we build a relationship with everyone that calls us from the gun community and wants to do it. I don't care about the $20 that we get when we come out. I care about the lifetime value of a client over the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years, so that when they do need us, we're here for it.
And don't you think you should run your AC and heat system, put it on a temperature, leave it on automatic, and leave it? Because a lot of people, I've had people say, because I've talked to them about getting AC, not with you because I didn't know who you were.
Sure.
And they say, "Oh well, okay, then I'm going to turn it off when the weather's good. Just run the windows up."
Yeah, it depends on how the system was engineered. And unfortunately, there's not.
Leave it on.
Well,
don't mess with it.
That's how I live in my house, right?
Yeah, me too. I set it at a temp and put it on automatic,
and it never
I'm done.
moves. It's always there, and it's never struggling to keep up.
No, that's what I try to tell.
20 years ago, no one used air conditioning like that in San Diego.
No, because the technology wasn't.
It was completely different. So the old school frame of thought was, let the house get 90 plus degrees. I come home from work, we turn it on, and then people would know, hey, it's not working because it's not catching up by midnight.
Yeah, I was going to say 3 in the morning if you were
Sure.
lucky. Well, I got a jacuzzi.
Yeah.
And I've had that same jacuzzi for 21 years. It runs every single night.
You have a jacuzzi?
You darn right.
I
I'm in
didn't-
it
how
every
am I-
night.
I've never. Oh well, that's what. Never mind.
No, I tell you, because I sleep better with that. But every night, and I run it all the time, and it still runs just hunky dory. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if you turn stuff off, especially with today's electronics,
Yeah.
and just let it sit, you're just asking for trouble.
Yeah.
The new technology, there's variable speed equipment.
Right.
And yeah, you can absolutely set it and forget it.
And that's what you got to convince. But see, they're so afraid if they don't have solar, let's say, because solar does help, just to offset electrical pricing. But don't sit over there and laugh. You don't even have AC.
She doesn't have a microphone either.
That's why I took it away from her. She's not getting it back.
So, obviously, the name Straight Shooter lends to reaching out to the Second Amendment community.
Yes.
But why was it important for you guys to reach out to Gun Owners Radio and the Second Amendment community?
It hit me like a brick one day. I've been a gun enthusiast for many years.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, these are my people, right? I'm also a pastor. So these are my people. right? And I'm like, how do I reach my people? And I met Adam when I went to get my CCW training at North County Shooting Center.
Yeah.
Because I live in Oceanside. And John Russo was the instructor.
Good dude.
Fantastic instructor. Fantastic at educating, right? Giving people all the information. And that's what we try to do with all of our customers, right? Of course. But then he teed up Adam, like better than I've ever seen anybody ever get teed up before. So Adam walked into the room, and here there's 25 people in there. Their mouths were watering. I need self-defense insurance, right? And then I went up to Adam after. I'm like, dude, did you sign up every single person in this room? Because you should have. And he's like, we'll talk later. So I talked to him, and then we ended up replacing his ductwork. And I'm like, dude, how do I, get more connected in the community?
Yeah.
Right? Because I only know the guys I go shooting with, guys I go hunting with. I'm like, I want to get more connected with the Second Amendment community. And he's like, well, you got to talk to Rich and Mike. And then we had sushi.
There we are. We had sushi.
Do you belong to San Diego County Gun Owners?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
So,
All right, so wait, I got to say one thing. From Friday to today, he's the second guy I've met that shoots and's a preacher.
Oh, really?
I don't know what that correlation is.
Yeah.
Yeah. This other one owns MIT suspension.
Yeah.
If you want to get your Jeep jacked up. And he's a preacher in El Cajon, and he's an avid shooter. And this guy too.
Well, hey, if you're gonna be a shepherd, you got to
shepherd the
protect
flock.
the
You gotta
you got to
protect
protect
the
the
flock.
flock.
Yeah.
You can't talk.
So, were you always into guns? Like in Connecticut, did you grow up into guns?
My uncle was a hunter, and yes, I was always intrigued.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I, came into my own, I started to become an enthusiast. I started getting involved myself in Arizona. Yeah.
And Arizona is a good state to get interested in guns.
A lot different. A lot different.
Now, do you still hunt here in
Yeah.
California? What do you hunt?
Anything I can. But yeah, so locally it's tough. In the San Diego, it's called D16. That's the zone that we're in. But it's not the best. You got to kind of go up north.
You got to go for a drive.
Mount Shasta.
Go for a drive.
Yeah.
What, birds or pigs or what are you hunting?
Yeah, pigs, deer, bear. You can hunt. You get all the tags.
Let's talk a little bit more about it. We were just our guest right before you. We were talking about how hunting is kind of fallen by the wayside. It's more about self-defense. But let's talk about it after the commercial.
You got it.
So they're talking about various in the chat on YouTube. They're talking about various sightings of me in restaurants.
Yeah, that's what I see. Well,
Thor, I remember Thor. You and I having that burger together. I'll tell you. You want to hear a quick story?
You get around.
I do. I get around. I'll tell you a quick story. I was in a Subway, and there was a father and a son. The son was probably 7 or 8 or something like that. I don't know. But I heard the dad go, eat the oatmeal cookie first. Save the chocolate chip. And I look, and I thought he was going to tell the kid, like, eat the sandwich first, He had like a little 6-inch sandwich, then he had a oatmeal cookie and a chocolate chip, right? And his dad stopped him and told him, he was about to take a big bite of this chocolate chip. And he's like, no. Hold that one. Like, save that one for later. And I thought, that's the difference between. That's why you need two parents. That's why you need a dad in your life. Yeah. Like, that's the kind of wisdom and advice you get from a dad. You know what I mean? Mom advice, you don't get. Mom advice is like, don't get that on your shirt. Don't eat too fast or you'll get sick. Mom advice, it's all about consequences to them. You know what I mean? But dad advice is like, hey man, I've been there.
Yeah.
I've been there.
I would eat the chocolate chip.
No. Keep that chocolate chip till last. So for the next 20 minutes after you still get that chocolate chip taste in your mouth.
Versus
like that's dad advice.
Versus that oatmeal.
Right? Yeah, eat the oatmeal. It's good, but save that chocolate chip. Like that's the difference between mom advice and dad advice. I don't know. Am I onto something, or did I read a little bit too much into that, guys?
I think Alicia would know that.
Well, she gives
she
mom
can't
advice, right? I mean, right?
What would you do?
I'd like to think I'm a fun mom and not a.
But would you
not
let
a
him do
Karen
that?
Mom. I make the cookies.
No. You're at Subway.
That's the other thing is, if mom were there wouldn't have been 2 cookies for that kid. That kid wouldn't have gotten 2 different kinds of cookies. That's a dad thing too.
And I think I'm more of a dad.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, look at Bill Cosby. Remember, he fixed cake
I don't want to look
for his kids.
I don't know
for
if we should-
breakfast.
I don't know
breakfast.
if Bill Cosby's a Good.
Oh, but he's still.
I used to, it's funny is I used to parallel my husband to Bill Cosby because, you try to fix something, you break it worse than it was. And that went out the window. I couldn't do that
You can't do
anymore.
that
Yeah, I
anymore. So.
can't even believe you.
Anyway, that's our obligatory talk about food that we always have to do on
At
every
least
show. So
once or twice.
sorry, there's a guy out there. I'm going to get a text saying, "Stop talking about food." So we're talking to.
Let's talk AC.
Yeah, we're talking to Scott Michael from Straight Shooter, and we were talking about hunting. So, Michael, you grew up hunting, and you still do some hunting here. You say you got to go up north for deer and birds and stuff like that. Talking about hunting, like, why do you hunt? What's it do for you?
I love being in nature.
Yeah,
If you look in the Word, Jesus spent a ton of time alone with the Father in nature, and that's my place. And in our industry, it's pretty stressful, pretty hectic, right? And you got to have some kind of go away. For Scott, it's racing in Baja, and for me, it's being out and hunting.
what do you race?
Side by sides,
Oh, nice.
golf carts with big suspension, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you run?
I have a new Can-Am Maverick R that I'm building right now, but I've been running a Can-Am X3 down in the Score International Series.
Do you want to laugh at me? I have a Honda 1000.
Oh, you like going slow. That's cool. Hey, we need guys like that.
See? But I have a transmission.
It makes me feel so cool.
I have a transmission.
Well, the Maverick R also has a
Did
transmission.
they finally put a tranny on it?
They put a transmission in it. There's no trannies. But Can-Am is a Canadian
I
company.
gotta say,
don't know where they sit.
Hey,
on
if
that
it
thing.
wasn't for Can-Am, Indian Motorcycle wouldn't be where it's at today. No, that's Polaris. Sorry about that. I got confused.
okay, so stay with me, guys. What if you guys combine your two hobbies? Right? So you're driving, he's hunting at the same time. It'd be like Jurassic Park.
100%.
That would be awesome.
Road hunting.
There is a company in San Diego. I don't know their name, but they actually take off-road cars and outfit them for the government.
Yeah.
And they will strap a
Chenoweth.
50 cal on.
Oh, in El Cajon.
yeah.
Chenoweth.
It is rad.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
You remember back in Gulf War I, they actually they were featured in like Time magazine or something like that. With
I
the big
keep
old
waiting
50
for them to come up on the GI auctions, but I've never seen one yet.
different kind of hunting.
No. You can shoot a pig.
from a mile away.
Well, versus what John Dillon wanted me to do. He wanted me to go with him, and he was going to sit in a tree with a bow, and he wanted me to run the pigs below him on
Yeah.
the tree.
Why didn't you do that?
I'm a little old. To
That
be
would have been
running.
awesome. It's so funny, Michael, that you talk about nature and that you hunt and go outdoors and everything. When I hear your accent, I automatically assume you're like a city guy. You know what I mean? Like,
Well-
it's not quite like a New York accent, but it's close enough, you know?
So I'm from southern Connecticut, all right? So
Yeah.
southern half of Connecticut, New York.
Yeah.
Northern half of Connecticut, Massachusetts.
Oh, really?
So Red Sox fans up north, Yankee fans down south.
Okay, I don't want to hurt your feelings,
Yes, sir.
but you don't look like you should even own a gun.
Thank you.
Because I agree with Mike. I mean, he doesn't look like somebody that would go out shooting, does he?
You look like somebody that would beat me up on the sidewalk.
No, he
Thanks,
looks like a businessman.
I mean, I'd probably deserved it, but I'm just saying, I wouldn't mess with
oh,
you.
he
So-
looks like a
so-
businessman.
I
Where I
can
was-
see how this is going to help your community want to welcome us.
Yeah, this is great.
Alone.
Thanks, Dave.
Go with the off-roader. Go with the off-roader.
So if you were to Wikipedia, the town I grew up in,
What's the name of the town?
Waterbury, Connecticut,
Okay.
we are the third most corrupt town in the history of the nation.
Oh, my gosh.
So I was absolutely a city boy
Yeah.
from a very rough part of the world. And most of my friends that I grew up with are dead or in jail.
That's
So-
seriously very sad and tragic. I'm very sorry.
So getting out in the nature is definitely my time.
Brings you peace.
Yeah.
All right.
So did that upbringing lead you to being a pastor, or were you religious your whole life, or tell us that story?
Sure, I'm no problem. So I'm Italian from the East Coast. Okay, of course I was Roman Catholic. Hardcore, right? Women weren't allowed on the altars, right, until I was like in 8th grade. Like old school. And actually, if you look up the neighborhood I grew up in Connecticut, it's the most Italian neighborhood per capita in the country.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's how I grew up. Racist, sexist. That's how I was raised. And that's the neighborhood I was from. But yeah, I had a lot of trouble. Got into a lot of fights. My family is in the liquor business. So I was raised in the liquor business my entire life until I was, sorry, I'm banging on the, Rich, I'm sorry, I'm banging on the
You're
table.
a preacher.
I'm a preacher and I'm Italian. It's like a bad combination. So Yeah, so I was in a lot of trouble growing up, ton of trouble, and the Lord spared my life a million times.
Wow.
I should totally be dead. And then, so I got saved. Yeah, I don't drink, right?
I don't drink either.
Yeah.
I don't drink either. I never had a problem, but so many people around me had problems. And I'm like, you know what? This isn't, you know? So I think at the time I thought, well, I'll show a little leadership and not drink. Nobody followed. But it's just, I definitely have a better, you know what I mean? But I definitely have a better life with, I'll have like, somebody's like, hey, try this bourbon, I'll have, do a little taste test, but I don't drink, you know? I think it's a better life.
Yeah, God asked me to do one thing. And he's like, I promise you'll have a wonderful life, just you can't drink.
Nice.
Kind of like John the Baptist. So I got saved, and my life is charmed. I don't deserve anything I have.
I love the fact that, your career, and then what you do as a pastor, and then what you do, what you do professionally, what you do as a pastor, and then what you do as a hobby, all are kind of like this fulfilling, service to others, bringing inner peace kind of thing. I mean, it's very, very cool. Very cool. It's very cool that you talk about it too.
We got nothing. We're straight shooters, Mike. We got nothing to hide.
It was coming. I knew it was coming. That was good.
That's awesome. So if our folks want to, I've been telling people, like at the meetings, I was like, okay, raise your hand if you own an air conditioner, because that's number one. You got to own an air conditioner. But if our folks want to do business with you guys, they want to support two fantastic guys that are going out of their way to support Gun Owners Radio. Two guys that are doing a great job. They're in our community. They own an air conditioner. What do you recommend? What should they do? How do they reach out to you guys?
Easiest way, you can call the office and talk to Ken or Betty. And that number is 619-922-3937. Or better yet, you can go on to our website, straightshooter.ac. And if you need service, you can even book from there without having to talk to anybody on our website.
And if they're just sitting there enjoying, they're like, hey, my AC's on. I want to support these guys, but I don't even know what I need. Like, what should they ask for?
My Venmo? I'm just kidding.
Well, one of the things,
like if it's not broken, what do they?
What's an age limit? Let's help. I'm going to help him out. AC's over 20 years old. You better start looking.
You're playing with borrowed time.
And are there any incentives? Is there any? Because when my wife got ours, there was some government thing that if you bought it before December, you got a pretty good rate.
Yeah, there are some rebates and incentives for going to a heat pump. That's something that would be better have a conversation in the home. It's boring.
But of course. But I'm just saying, all I'm trying to get people to understand is that all the laws and the rules, and
yeah.
If for example, if somebody came to you and says, "I'm just thinking about it," you could say, "You know what? If you wait till August, because in August they're doing this, and this." Yeah, because the rules.
The absolute best thing to do is to start a relationship with us and take advantage of the 1776 tune-up.
Right.
Try us out. Get us in your home. You're going to see that we don't do what a lot of the other companies do, where it's a bait and switch. We're actually going to do a great service for that money, and we're obviously going to ask to continue the relationship. We want to, put you on our membership plan. Cost more, but we're going to come out twice a year, clean a whole bunch of stuff on the unit, clean the outdoor,
put in new filters.
Change the filters for you, and we do a lot of work for that money. And that's the best way for people to support us and do business is just to start the relationship. You don't have to buy a new system. We want to have a relationship with most people.
You can save it, and sometimes the older systems are not bad.
Yeah, I am a fan. I fixed so many old systems.
Yeah. Are you a 24/7 guy?
No.
No, I mean if I have a trouble on a Saturday afternoon.
Unfortunately, I have been this last couple weeks.
He was in 3 houses today.
Yeah, just today, and I don't work on Sundays, so that tells you anything.
What's your website?
Straightshooter.ac.
Straightshooter.ac. So if you're sitting there and your house is cold and you're thinking to yourself, I don't think I need an AC guy, go on their website, have them come out and just take a look at your unit for $17.76. You're supporting Gun Owners Radio, you're supporting the Second Amendment community, and you're probably preventing something horrible from happening from your AC.
You already missed the most important part, and it's coming right around the corner.
What's that?
Heat.
That's exactly right.
because they do heat too.
There you go.
It's not always just being cold.
Heating and cooling.
Heating and cooling.
I can sweat in a meat locker, so it's. I don't really think a lot about heat, but anyway, it's extremely important. Call these guys. Go to straightshooter.ac. Give them a call. Get them out to your house, and you're starting a beautiful relationship with two great guys.
Absolutely. Maybe we'll even get Michael Schwartz to come out.
Yeah.
You can,
What will I do?
You can
sweat. I'll
clean
just sit
the
there and
ducks.
sweat.
You-
All right.
He can
You'd be
clean
like,
ducks.
it's hot in here. You should get it fixed.
I like ducks.
I know you could clean a duck.
Yeah, you should work that into your pitch. Like you hunt ducks, you clean duck. No, that's not okay.
No, it won't work.
All right, let's go to commercial.
Thanks for watching this clip from Gun Owners Radio. If you're watching mainstream media, you're not getting the truth about guns. Gun Owners Radio is the easiest way to stay on top of the Second Amendment fight, the fight for your self-defense rights. You can watch our live stream on YouTube every Sunday from 4 to 6 p.m. California time, or if you're in San Diego, AM 1170, FM 96.1, The Answer. We're also available on your favorite podcast platform. Just search Gun Owners Radio and you'll find our show. Like and subscribe to help defend and restore the Second Amendment, not just in California, but across the country.